Hey folks, we're back again today, and we're talking about Google Shopping, optimizing your titles. So here's the thing: the main goal when it comes to optimizing titles in Google Shopping is you want to satisfy people and Google at the same time. Here's what this means: you want to get a title that's easy to understand, so that someone, a human being, can read it and understand it. And you also want to have the keywords that let Google know where to put it in the search. So for example, if you mess up the first part and you don't write a title that's relevant for searchers, they're going to read your content, not fully understand what your product's for, and they're not going to click as often, buy as often. And the second part, if you mess that part up with Google, they're going to basically end up having a hard time placing it in the right place. And if they do place you on Google Shopping for the right searches, you're going to end up very far down. And again, ultimately you wouldn't be seen as much as you want to be. So what you need to do here is first thing, get some keyword intelligence. You want to know what keywords people use when they're finding your product or products like yours, right? Use tools like SpyFu or SEMrush or even Google's keyword tool for this. And you want to basically attribute intel from customer research. You want to get information about your product attributes from customer research. So ultimately, what this means is you want to figure out what attributes your product has that people typically care about. So if you're selling food, or like let's say a beauty product, right? Do people care if it's cruelty free? Do they want to know how long it'll last? Like, will this lipstick last for, let's say, 400 applications or six months? Um, what items are part of your product offering would people be looking for? So let's say you're selling, an emergency evacuation kit, right? People might want to know what's in there. Flashlight, food rations, um, a mask. People want to know what items are inside of this kit. So in that case, you'd want to, add something like, the kit and then include what actual names of the contents are in that. Of course, you wouldn't do that for a food product because people likely would not be looking for an ingredients list in their search, for a food product. However, if you know that there are certain ingredients that people really look out for, then yes, you are going to want to, go after that and essentially include them so that when people search for, includes X ingredient, yours will show up as one that has the mentioned ingredient. So this is really about first understanding what people are going to try to search and understand what words are in their head and in their search bar when they're trying to find products that are like yours but not quite yours. All right. And basically, on top of that, have an idea of what they're going to care about most and least, so you can understand which keywords you really have to have in your title, as well as which keywords you can do without. So the Google Shopping title tends to look something like this, right? Best check-in luggage, olive green, large 30-inch, and the brand, mono suitcases and child accessories. Um, I'm going to get into formulas here, and then we can probably recap anything else I might have missed. So there are formulas that we use to make this process a little bit easier because it isn't exactly easy to just know what to put in Google Shopping and what order is best. So there are a few formulas that people really have just to make this process a bit easier. And the first one is brand first, and then product description, and then keywords. So this might be something like, Mono's Travel brand. Description would be, check-in luggage, um, olive green, 30 inches. And then the keywords might be, travel accessories, check-in suitcases, small travel bags, etc. Right? This is best for brands that are larger because if a brand is small and it's not getting searched, there's less reason to lead with this. You want to really focus on relevance instead. You want to make sure that your product matches the person's desire, um, because you know your brand is small and probably isn't very cared about. So if your brand is new and small, include it last, if at all. Do not put it first. If you're selling suitcases from Samsonite, you know, or like JanSport bags or Supreme bags, you'll put brand in front. Second formula is product description and then keywords and then brand. This is one of the most commonly used ones. In this case, it's something like, let's say, check-in luggage, 30-inch bag. And then the keywords would be travel accessories, travel bags, stuff like that, right? Premium travel suitcase. That's an example of keywords that people would search. Some people who are trying to find the more expensive bags that are hyper durable and will not fail them might search something like, premium suitcase, premium travel bag, premium check-in bag. You'll include that here, right? So description will come first, and then you might want to put the premium or whatever other keywords you have, and then put the brand at the end. The other alternative is keyword first, and then description, and then the brand. This might be something like, a premium travel bag, followed by something like 30-inch check-in suitcase, followed by the brand name. These are all formulas that work because they help people understand your product without confusing them and also giving Google the keywords it needs to get your product in the right place. Because Google is not very interested in putting your product where you say it should be. Google's interested in understanding your product so that they can decide where it belongs. Because people have been doing black hat tactics and using underhanded methods for years, probably even a couple of decades now, to basically game the system and put their product in places where it might not be most relevant. Um, and Google's basically trying to avoid that and have your product go in the category where it belongs. So that's a big reason why a lot of the stuff is kind of in Google's hands, and they just want you to tell them what it is so they can put it where it needs to be. So, like I said before, you want to lead with the information that the viewer cares about the most, right? Include keywords later in the product title because after 70 characters, it will cut off. All right. Um, you want to have the most important, most relevant information in the beginning. Um, so things that are like, if you're adding in keywords and things like that that are more important to Google than to the actual buyer, put that last or after the most important part. So you want to see it as the words that are for understanding go in the beginning, and then after that first 70 characters, the words that are for keywords and for Google will go afterwards. So that's generally how you go about optimizing Google Shopping titles. This is all you need. You generally, this is a pretty simple thing, but it's very difficult to get perfectly right. But this is how you do it perfectly right. You follow examples like this. You include a formula that makes it make sense to the person viewing it and to Google at the same time. And you want to spend a lot of time getting intel on what people search or what other keywords your competitors are bidding on. That's generally how you do this. And if you follow this method to a T, you will end up getting a high click-through rate and you will get sales from Google Shopping or Performance Max, whichever one you're using, because they both rely on your Google Merchant Center having titles that are set up ideally for products like this. Anyway, hope that was useful, guys, and we'll talk again soon. If you enjoyed this, drop a like, subscribe, and we can get it going. Let's continue. I'll get more of these out. Take care.